Hello, it's Vocal Senpai, and this is a series in which every chapter of the whole NCERT Biology book of 11th and 12th class will be covered in audiobook format. In this video, the chapter 4 of class 11 biology book, that is Animal Kingdom, will be narrated. So, sit back, relax, and let's listen and learn. Chapter 4. Animal Kingdom. When you look around, you will observe different animals with different structures and forms. As over 1 million species of animals have been described till now, the need for classification becomes all the more important. The classification also helps in assigning a systematic position to newly described species. Basis of classification. In spite of differences in structure and form of different animals, there are fundamental features common to various individuals in relation to the arrangement of cells, body symmetry, nature of column, patterns of digestive, circulatory or reproductive systems. These features are used as the basis of animal classification, and some of them are discussed here. Levels of organization. Though all members of Animalia are multicellular, all of them do not exhibit the same pattern of organization of cells. For example, in sponges, the cells are arranged as loose cell aggregates, i.e., they exhibit cellular level of organization. Some division of labor activities occur among the cells. In coelenterates, the arrangement of cells is more complex. Here the cells performing the same function are arranged into tissues, hence is called tissue level of organization. A still higher level of organization, i.e., organ level, is exhibited by members of Platyhelminthes and other higher phyla where tissues are grouped together to form organs, each specialized for a particular function. In animals like annelids, arthropods, molluscs, echinoderms and chordates, organs have associated to form functional systems, each system concerned with a specific physiological function. This pattern is called organ system level of organization. Organ systems in different groups of animals exhibit various patterns of complexities. For example, the digestive system in Platyhelminthes has only a single opening to the outside of the body that serves as both mouth and anus, and is hence called incomplete. A complete digestive system has 2 openings, mouth and anus. Similarly, the circulatory system may be of 2 types. I. Open type, in which the blood is pumped out of the heart and the cells and tissues are directly bathed in it, and 2. Closed type, in which the blood is circulated through a series of vessels of varying diameters, arteries, veins and capillaries. Symmetry. Animals can be categorized on the basis of their symmetry. Sponges are mostly asymmetrical, i.e., any plane that passes through the center does not divide them into equal halves. When any plane passing through the central axis of the body divides the organism into 2 identical halves, it is called radial symmetry. Coelenterates, ctenophores and echinoderms have this kind of body plan, figure 4.1a. Animals like annelids, arthropods, etc., where the body can be divided into identical left and right halves in only one plane, exhibit bilateral symmetry, figure 4.1b. Diploblastic and triploblastic organization. Animals in which the cells are arranged into embryonic layers, an external ectoderm and an internal endoderm, are called diploblastic animals, example, coelenterates. An undifferentiated layer, mesoglia, is present in between the ectoderm and the endoderm, figure 4.2a. Those animals in which the developing embryo has a third germinal layer, mesoderm, in between the ectoderm and endoderm, are called triploblastic animals, Platyhelminthes to chordates, figure 4.2b. Colon. Presence or absence of a cavity between the body wall and the gut wall is very important in classification. The body cavity, which is lined by mesoderm, is called column. Animals possessing column are called coelomates, example, annelids, molluscs, arthropods, echinoderms, hemichordates and chordates, figure 4.3a. In some animals, the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. Instead, the mesoderm is present as scattered pouches in between the ectoderm and endoderm. Such a body cavity is called pseudocoelom, and the animals possessing them are called pseudocoelomates. Example, Aschelminthes, figure 4.3b. The animals in which the body cavity is absent are called acoelomates. Example, Platyhelminthes, figure 4.3c. Segmentation. In some animals, the body is externally and internally divided into segments with a serial repetition of at least some organs. For example, in earthworm, the body shows this pattern called metameric segmentation, and the phenomenon is known as metamerism. Notochord. Notochord is a mesodermally derived rod-like structure formed on the dorsal side during embryonic development in some animals. Animals with notochord are called chordates, and those animals which do not form this structure are called non-chordates. Example, Porifera to echinoderms. Classification of animals. The broad classification of Animalia based on common fundamental features as mentioned in the preceding sections is given in figure 4.4. Phylum-Porifera. Members of this phylum are commonly known as sponges. They are generally marine and mostly asymmetrical animals. Figure 4.5. These are primitive multicellular animals and have cellular level of organization. Sponges have a water transport or canal system. Water enters through minute pores, ostia, in the body wall into a central cavity, spongosoele, from where it goes out through the osculum. This pathway of water transport is helpful in food gathering, respiratory exchange and removal of waste. Choanocytes or collar cells line the spongosoele and the canals. Digestion is intracellular. The body is supported by a skeleton made up of spicules or spongin fibers. Sexes are not separate, hermaphrodite, i.e., eggs and sperms are produced by the same individual. Sponges reproduce asexually by fragmentation and sexually by formation of gametes. Fertilization is internal and development is indirect, having a larval stage which is morphologically distinct from the adult. Examples, Cycon, Cypha, Sponsilla, freshwater sponge, and Euspongia, bath sponge. Phylum Coelenterata, Cnidaria. They are aquatic, mostly marine, sessile or free-swimming, radially symmetrical animals. Figure 4.6. The name Cnidaria is derived from the cnidoblasts or cnidocytes, which contain the stinging capsules or nematocysts present on the tentacles and the body. Cnidoblasts are used for anchorage, defense and for the capture of prey. Figure 4.7. Cnidarians exhibit tissue level of organization and are diploblastic. They have a central gastrovascular cavity with a single opening, mouth on hypostome. Digestion is extracellular and intracellular. Some of the cnidarians, example, corals, have a skeleton composed of calcium carbonate. Cnidarians exhibit two basic body forms called polyp and medusa. Figure 4.6. The former is a sessile and cylindrical form like hydra, adamsia, etc., whereas the latter is umbrella-shaped and free-swimming like Aurelia or jellyfish. Those cnidarians which exist in both forms exhibit alternation of generation, metagenesis, i.e., polyps produce medusae asexually and medusae form the polyps sexually. Example, Obelia. Examples, Physalia, Portuguese man-of-war, Adamsia, C. anemone, Pennatula, C. pen, Gorgonia, C. fan, and Mandrina, brain coral. Phylum Ctenophora. Ctenophores, commonly known as sea walnuts or comb jellies, are exclusively marine, radially symmetrical, diploblastic organisms with tissue level of organization. The body bears 8 external rows of ciliate comb plates, which help in locomotion. Figure 4.8. Digestion is both extracellular and intracellular. Bioluminescence, the property of a living organism to emit light, is well marked in ctenophores. Sexes are not separate. Reproduction takes place only by sexual means. Fertilization is external with indirect development. Examples: Pleurobrachia and Ctenoplana. Phylum Platyhelminthes. They have dorsoventrally flattened body, hence are called flatworms, figure 4.9. These are mostly endoparasites found in animals including human beings. Flatworms are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and acoelomate animals with organ level of organization. Hooks and suckers are present in the parasitic forms. Some of them absorb nutrients from the host directly through their body surface. Specialized cells called flame cells help in osmoregulation and excretion. Sexes are not separate. Fertilization is internal and development is through many larval stages. Some members like Planaria possess high regeneration capacity. Examples: Taenia, tapeworm, fasciola, liver fluke. Phylum Aschelminthes. The body of the Aschelminthes is circular in cross-section, hence, the name roundworms, figure 4.10. They may be free-living, aquatic and terrestrial or parasitic in plants and animals. Roundworms have organ system level of body organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and pseudocoelomate animals. Alimentary canal is complete with a well-developed muscular pharynx. An excretory tube removes body wastes from the body cavity through the excretory pore. Sexes are separate, dioecious, i.e., males and females are distinct. Often females are longer than males. Fertilization is internal and development may be direct. The young ones resemble the adult or indirect. Examples: Ascaris, roundworm, Wuchereria, filaria worm, and Cyclostoma, hookworm. Phylum Annelida. They may be aquatic, marine and fresh water, or terrestrial, free-living, and sometimes parasitic. They exhibit organ system level of body organization and bilateral symmetry. They are triploblastic, metamerically segmented and coelomate animals. Their body surface is distinctly marked out into segments or metameres and hence, the phylum name Annelida, Latin, annulus, little ring, figure 4.11. They possess longitudinal and circular muscles which help in locomotion. Aquatic annelids like Nereis possess lateral appendages, parapodia, which help in swimming. A closed circulatory system is present. Nephridia, sing. Nephridium, help in osmoregulation and excretion. Neural system consists of paired ganglia, sing. Ganglion, connected by lateral nerves to a double ventral nerve cord. Nereis, an aquatic form, is dioecious, but earthworms and leeches are monoecious. Reproduction is sexual. Examples: Nereis, Fatima, earthworm, and Hirudinaria, blood-sucking leech. Phylum Arthropoda. This is the largest phylum of Animalia which includes insects. Over 2/3 of all named species on Earth are arthropods, figure 4.12. They have organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, segmented and coelomate animals. The body of arthropods is covered by chitinous exoskeleton. The body consists of head, thorax and abdomen. They have jointed appendages, arthros joint, pod appendages. Respiratory organs are gills, book lungs or tracheal system. Circulatory system is of open type. Sensory organs like antennae, eyes, compound and simple, statocysts or balancing organs are present. Excretion takes place through Malpighian tubules. They are mostly dioecious. Fertilization is usually internal. They are mostly oviparous. Development may be direct or indirect. Examples: economically important insects, apis, honeybee, bombyx, silkworm, laxifer, lac insect, vectors, anopheles, culex and aids, mosquitoes, gregarious pest, locusta, locust, living fossil, limulus, king crab. Phylum Mollusca. This is the second largest animal phylum, figure 4.13. Mollusks are terrestrial or aquatic, marine or fresh water, having an organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and coelomate animals. Body is covered by a calcareous shell and is unsegmented with a distinct head, muscular foot and visceral hump. A soft and spongy layer of skin forms a mantle over the visceral hump. The space between the hump and the mantle is called the mantle cavity, in which feather-like gills are present. They have respiratory and excretory functions. The anterior head region has sensory tentacles. The mouth contains a file-like rasping organ for feeding, called radula. They are usually dioecious and oviparous with indirect development. Examples: pilla, apple snail, pincatada, pearl oyster, sepia, cuttlefish, loligo, squid, octopus, devilfish, aplysia, sea hare, dentalium, tusk shell, and Chaetopleura, chiton. Phylum Echinodermata. These animals have an endoskeleton of calcareous ossicles and, hence, the name Echinodermata, spiny-bodied, figure 4.14. All are marine with organ system level of organization. The adult echinoderms are radially symmetrical but larvae are bilaterally symmetrical. They are triploblastic and coelomate animals. Digestive system is complete with mouth on the lower, ventral, side and anus on the upper, dorsal, side. The most distinctive feature of echinoderms is the presence of water vascular system which helps in locomotion, capture and transport of food and respiration. An excretory system is absent. Sexes are separate. Reproduction is sexual. Fertilization is usually external. Development is indirect with free-swimming larvae. Examples: asterias, starfish, echinus, sea urchin, antedon, sea lily, cucumeria, sea cucumber, and ophiura, brittle star. Phylum Hemichordata. Hemichordata was earlier considered as a subphylum under phylum Chordata. But now it is placed as a separate phylum under non-Chordata. Hemichordates have a rudimentary structure in the collar region called stomochord, a structure similar to notochord. This phylum consists of a small group of worm-like marine animals with organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and coelomate animals. The body is cylindrical and is composed of an anterior proboscis, a collar and a long trunk, figure 4.15. Circulatory system is of open type. Respiration takes place through gills. Excretory organ is proboscis gland. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is external. Development is indirect. Examples: balanoglossus and saccoglossus. Phylum Chordata. Animals belonging to phylum Chordata are fundamentally characterized by the presence of a notochord, a dorsal hollow nerve cord and paired pharyngeal gill slits, figure 4.16. These are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, coelomate with organ system level of organization. They possess a post-anal tail and a closed circulatory system. Table 4.1 presents a comparison of salient features of chordates and non-chordates. Phylum Chordata is divided into three subphyla: Urochordata or Tunicata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Subphyla Urochordata and Cephalochordata are often referred to as protochordates, figure 4.17, and are exclusively marine. In Urochordata, notochord is present only in larval tail, while in Cephalochordata, it extends from head to tail region and is persistent throughout their life. Examples: Urochordata acidia, salpa, doleolum, Cephalochordata branchiostoma, amphioxus or lancelet. The members of subphylum Vertebrata possess notochord during the embryonic period. The notochord is replaced by a cartilaginous or bony vertebral column in the adult. Thus all vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates. Besides the basic chordate characters, vertebrates have a ventral muscular heart with 2, 3 or 4 chambers, kidneys for excretion and osmoregulation, and paired appendages which may be fins or limbs. Class Cyclostomata. All living members of the class Cyclostomata are ectoparasites on some fishes. They have an elongated body bearing 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits for respiration. Cyclostomes have a sucking and circular mouth without jaws, Fig. 4.18. Their body is devoid of scales and paired fins. Cranium and vertebral column are cartilaginous. Circulation is of closed type. Cyclostomes are marine but migrate for spawning to fresh water. After spawning, within a few days, they die. Their larvae, after metamorphosis, return to the ocean. Examples: Petromyzon, lamprey, and myxine, hagfish. Class Chondrichthyes. They are marine animals with streamlined body and have cartilaginous endoskeleton, figure 4.19. Mouth is located ventrally. Notochord is persistent throughout life. Gill slits are separate and without operculum gill cover. The skin is tough, containing minute placoid scales. Teeth are modified placoid scales, which are backwardly directed. Their jaws are very powerful. These animals are predaceous. Due to the absence of air bladder, they have to swim constantly to avoid sinking. Heart is two-chambered, one auricle and one ventricle. Some of them have electric organs, example, torpedo, and some possess poison sting, example, trigon. They are cold-blooded, poikilothermous animals, i.e., they lack the capacity to regulate their body temperature. Sexes are separate. In males, pelvic fins bear claspers. They have internal fertilization and many of them are viviparous. Examples: Scoliodon, dogfish, pristis, sawfish, Carcharodon, great white shark, trigon, stingray. Class Osteichthyes. It includes both marine and freshwater fishes with bony endoskeleton. Their body is streamlined. Mouth is mostly terminal, figure 4.20. They have 4 pairs of gills which are covered by an operculum on each side. Skin is covered with cycloid ctenoid scales. Air bladder is present which regulates buoyancy. Heart is two-chambered, one auricle and one ventricle. They are cold-blooded animals. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is usually external. They are mostly oviparous and development is direct. Examples: marine Exocotus, flying fish, hippocampus, seahorse, freshwater labio, rohu, catla, katla, clarias, magur, aquarium, betta, fighting fish, pterophyllum, angelfish. Class Amphibia. As the name indicates, gr amphi, dual, bios, life, amphibians can live in aquatic as well as terrestrial habitats, figure 4.21. Most of them have 2 pairs of limbs. Body is divisible into head and trunk. Tail may be present in some. The amphibian skin is moist, without scales. The eyes have eyelids. A tympanum represents the ear. Alimentary canal, urinary, and reproductive tracts open into a common chamber called cloaca which opens to the exterior. Respiration is by gills, lungs and through skin. The heart is 3-chambered, 2 auricles and 1 ventricle. These are cold-blooded animals. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is external. They are oviparous and development is indirect. Examples: buffo, toad, rana, frog, hyla, tree frog, salmandra, salamander, ichthyophis, limbless amphibia. Class Reptilia. The class name refers to their creeping or crawling mode of locomotion, Latin, repier or reptum, to creep or crawl. They are mostly terrestrial animals and their body is covered by dry and cornified skin, epidermal scales or scuds, Fig. 4.22. They do not have external ear openings. Tympanum represents ear. Limbs, when present, are 2 pairs. Heart is usually 3-chambered, but 4-chambered in crocodiles. Reptiles are poikilodons. Snakes and lizards shed their scales as skin cast. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and development is direct. Examples: chelone, turtle, testudo, tortoise, chameleon, tree lizard, calotes, garden lizard, crocodilus, crocodile, alligator, alligator. Hemidactylus, wall lizard, poisonous snakes, naja, cobra, bangarus, kret, vipera, viper. Class Aves. The characteristic features of aves, birds, are the presence of feathers, and most of them can fly except flightless birds, example, ostrich. They possess beak, figure 4.23. The forelimbs are modified into wings. The hind limbs generally have scales and are modified for walking, swimming or clasping the tree branches. Skin is dry without glands except the oil gland at the base of the tail. Endoskeleton is fully ossified, bony, and the long bones are hollow with air cavities, pneumatic. The digestive tract of birds has additional chambers, the crop and gizzard. Heart is completely four-chambered. They are warm-blooded, homodermous animals, i.e., they are able to maintain a constant body temperature. Respiration is by lungs. Air sacs connected to lungs supplement respiration. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and development is direct. Examples: corvus, crow, columba, pigeon, psittacula, parrot, struthio, ostrich, pavo, peacock, aptenodytes, penguin, neophron, vulture. Class Mammalia. They are found in a variety of habitats: polar ice caps, deserts, mountains, forests, grasslands and dark caves. Some of them have adapted to fly or live in water. The most unique mammalian characteristic is the presence of milk-producing glands, mammary glands, by which the young ones are nourished. They have two pairs of limbs, adapted for walking, running, climbing, burrowing, swimming or flying, figure 4.24. The skin of mammals is unique in possessing hair. External ears or pinnae are present. Different types of teeth are present in the jaw. Heart is four-chambered. They are homodermous. Respiration is by lungs. Sexes are separate and fertilization is internal. They are viviparous with few exceptions and development is direct. Examples: oviparous ornithorhynchus, platypus, viviparous macropus, kangaroo, pteropus, flying fox, camelus, camel, macaca, monkey, rattus, rat, canis, dog, felis, cat, elephas, elephant, equus, horse, delphinus, common dolphin, Balaenoptera, blue whale, Panthera tigris, tiger, Panthera leo, lion. The salient distinguishing features of all phyla under Animal Kingdom is comprehensively given in the table 4.2. Summary. The basic fundamental features such as level of organization, symmetry, cell organization, column segmentation, notochord, etc., have enabled us to broadly classify the animal kingdom. Besides the fundamental features, there are many other distinctive characters which are specific for each phyla or class. Porifera includes multicellular animals which exhibit cellular level of organization and have characteristic flagellated choanocytes. The coelenterates have tentacles and bear cnidoblasts. They are mostly aquatic, sessile or free-floating. The ctenophores are marine animals with comb plates. The platyhelminthes have flat body and exhibit bilateral symmetry. The parasitic forms show distinct suckers and hooks. Aschelminthes are pseudocoelomates and include parasitic as well as non-parasitic roundworms. Annelids are metamerically segmented animals with a true column. The arthropods are the most abundant group of animals characterized by the presence of jointed appendages. The molluscs have a soft body surrounded by an external calcareous shell. The body is covered with external skeleton made of chitin. The echinoderms possess a spiny skin. Their most distinctive feature is the presence of water vascular system. The hemichordates are a small group of worm-like marine animals. They have a cylindrical body with proboscis, collar and trunk. Phylum Chordata includes animals which possess a notochord either throughout or during early embryonic life. Other common features observed in the chordates are the dorsal, hollow nerve cord and paired pharyngeal gill slits. Some of the vertebrates do not possess jaws, Agnatha, whereas most of them possess jaws, Gnathostomata. Agnatha is represented by the class Cyclostomata. They are the most primitive chordates and are ectoparasites on fishes. Gnathostomata has two superclasses, Pisces and Tetrapoda. Classes Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes bear fins for locomotion and are grouped under Pisces. The Chondrichthyes are fishes with cartilaginous endoskeleton and are marine. Classes Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia have two pairs of limbs and are thus grouped under Tetrapoda. The amphibians have adapted to live both on land and water. Reptiles are characterized by the presence of dry and cornified skin. Limbs are absent in snakes. Fishes, amphibians and reptiles are poikilothermous, cold-blooded. Aves are warm-blooded animals with feathers on their bodies and forelimbs modified into wings for flying. Hind limbs are adapted for walking, swimming, perching or clasping. The unique features of mammals are the presence of mammary glands and hairs on the skin. They commonly exhibit viviparity. Thank you for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up if it was helpful and subscribe for the upcoming videos. Check out more videos from the playlist. Also comment down if you have some queries or suggestion.
बोलो डरते डरते जिए कब तक मेरे दिल के दर पे तेरी दस्तक तू मुझसे छुपे जैसे काउंट करो 10 तक मैं तुझे ढूंढने को पार करूं हर हद भर वक्त जो कर जाए वफा तो ठीक वरना उम्मीद पे नहीं कायम रहता सब 24 this year लगे जैसे टाइम्स अप लेकिन नहीं तला नहीं तू रहेगा यहीं तेरे जैसे कम वो भी पूरे तेरे जैसे नहीं